Happy Tuesday, and thank you for joining me live tonight. Today we have a very fun and interesting topic. Let's go ahead and look at it. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at lesson 2 of this B1 to B2 English course. And we're going to be focused on vocabulary that we can use to talk about achievements, success, challenges, obstacles. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so guys, what are we going to do today? First, we're going to learn the vocabulary for achievements and challenges. And then we're going to do some activities to test your understanding of this vocabulary. And then finally, I'm going to ask you some questions and you can type there in the chat examples. And I really want you to use this vocabulary. Okay, so let's start with the first activity here, guys. Okay, so what are we going to do? On the left is an example sentence, okay, and you will see the word underlined, and we need to match it to the correct definition on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the first example. Reaching B2 English was a big milestone for me. So the word here, guys, is milestone. Okay, I'll type it here in the chat so you can see it. Milestone. Okay, so what's the definition? Looking there on the right, those 5 definitions. Okay, which one means milestone? Do we know, guys? Okay, it's going to be number 5. Okay, a milestone is to reach an important stage or point in a process. Okay, so let's say, right, your goal is to reach English fluency. Okay, and so we need different milestones to get there. So first you reach A1, A2, B1, B2. Each of those stages we can consider a milestone. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 2. I've come a long way with my English. I used to be afraid to speak. Okay, so the expression here, guys, is to come a long way. Okay, come a long way. So let's look at those definitions on the right. Which one means come a long way? Hey Didier, you said no. Is there a problem? What is the problem? Okay, but guys, come a long way. What does it mean? Okay, this one's going to be number 4. To make significant progress over a long period of time, right? So maybe you remember in the beginning, you didn't know anything. And now maybe it's not perfect, but you can have a conversation and understand many things. Okay, and this is going to be you have come a long way. So you've improved a lot since you first started. Okay, let's look at number 3. Okay, after months of practice, I'm finally reaping the rewards. Okay, so our expression here, guys, reaping the rewards. Okay, so let's look at those definitions on the right. Okay, So we already did 4 and 5. So is this one 1, 2, or 3? What do you think? Okay, guys, this one's going to be number 1. Okay. To experience positive results after putting in consistent effort. Okay. So when we reap the rewards, it means in the beginning, it was difficult. We were working very hard. Maybe at that point, we weren't really receiving a lot of results or rewards for that hard work. But because we continued to do it, we were consistent, we were able to eventually reap the rewards. Okay, we were able to receive those positive results. Okay, let's look at number 4. I didn't think I could do it, but I pulled it off. Okay, so the expression here, guys, pulled it off. Okay, so is this one going to be number 2 or number 3 definition? Because those are the only 2 left. Is it number 2 or number 3? Yes, these are new expressions for you, Didier. That's awesome. Yes, we're expanding your vocabulary. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so guys, pull it off. Is it going to be number 2 or number 3? Okay, this one is going to be number 3. To succeed at doing something difficult or unexpected. Okay, so you thought something was going to be very hard for you. Maybe you weren't so sure you could do it or do it well, but you pulled it off, which means you were able to do it. You did it successfully, even though it was very hard. Okay, and let's look at number 5, the last one here. Improving my English helped me move up in my career. Improving my English helped me move up in my career. Okay, we only have one left, so it's probably obvious which one it is. Okay, so this is going to be to advance to a higher position or level, especially at work. Okay, so maybe you start out as the assistant, okay, and then you move up to manager. Okay, so you're growing in your career, you're receiving a higher position. Okay, this is moving up. So guys, those are 5 common achievement vocabulary expressions. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I will explain. And let's go ahead and move on to the next step, which is challenge vocabulary. So let's learn 5 expressions that we can use to talk about challenges. So number 1, reaching B2 English was a, wait, sorry, that was not the one. All right, number 1, failing my exam was just a small bump in the road. Failing my exam was just a small bump in the road. So the expression here, guys, is a small bump in the road or a bump in the road. Okay, and we're going to look at the examples here, the definitions on the right. So which one is a bump in the road? Okay, guys, this is going to be number 2. Okay, a temporary problem or difficulty that slows progress. Okay, a bump is something that goes like this. So imagine there's a road and then there's a little bump, right? So your car has to go over the bump. And that bump is a symbol of something difficult or a problem. Okay, but usually these are temporary. They just slow down our progress or make it a little more difficult. Okay, let's look at number 2. Breaking my leg felt like a setback, but it didn't stop me. Okay, so the word here, guys, is a setback. Very good, Didier. You got it correct. Awesome. Okay, so yes, we have a setback. Okay, so let's look at the right, guys. Which definition is a setback? Okay, it's going to be number 3. To experience a problem that makes you move backwards, not forward. So that's the idea, guys. It's a setback. Instead of moving forward, it sets you back. Okay, so sometimes we have challenges that make it difficult for us to continue towards our goals. So we can call this a setback. Okay, all right, let's look at number 3. The only way to reach goals is to keep going even when the going gets tough. So the expression here is keep going even when the going gets tough. All right, so which one is this going to be, guys? And the expression keep going when the going gets tough. Okay, this is going to be number 4. To continue despite difficulty or discouragement. Okay, so guys, tough means something's very difficult. Okay, but even though it's tough, we're going to keep going. We can't give up. We have to keep fighting even when it's hard. All right, number 4. I felt stuck and hit a wall with my English listening comprehension. I felt stuck and hit a wall with my English listening comprehension. So, hit a wall, that's our expression. Very good, Didier. You got it. Okay, so hit a wall. Which one is this going to be? Right, it's going to be number 5. To reach a point where progress becomes very difficult or stops, right? So here's a wall. Okay, you're going towards your goal, trying to achieve something, and you hit a wall. It stops your progress, okay, or it's very difficult for you to improve. Okay, so that is to hit a wall. All right, let's do number 5. Right now, I have too much on my plate at work and with my studies. Right now, I have too much on my plate at work and with my studies. So the expression here is to have too much on your plate. Okay. And this is the last one, so it's probably obvious what the answer is. Okay. So this one is going to mean that you have many responsibilities or tasks at the same time. Okay. It's too difficult for you to maintain all of these responsibilities. It's like a plate of food, right? If you put too much food on your plate, you can't eat all of it. So it's a symbol of that. If you give yourself too many responsibilities, it's impossible for you to do it all. Okay. And that ends our 10 expressions for achievements and challenges. So remember, if you have any questions, ask them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And let's go ahead and move on to the next activity. Okay, so guys, now we're going to read this passage together. Okay, it's explaining someone's experience of learning English, and we use all 10 expressions so that you can see how to use them. So let me read this for you. Reaching B2 English was a big milestone for me, and I've come a long way with my English since I first started learning. I used to be afraid to speak, but after months of practice, I'm finally reaping the rewards. There were moments when I didn't think I could do it, but I somehow pulled it off. Improving my English even helped me move up in my career. Of course, not everything was easy. I got in a car accident and needed surgery. This felt like a real setback, but it turned out to be just a small bump in the road. I learned that the only way to reach your goals is to keep going, even when the going gets tough. At one point, I thought that I had hit a wall with my listening comprehension, but learning connected speech really helped me. Sometimes I had too much on my plate at work and taking care of my family, but I made sure to study for at least 20 minutes a day and never gave up. Okay. So, guys, if you want, you can take a picture of this. I recommend looking at it again, really analyzing the story so you can see how to use this vocabulary naturally. All right. Let's go ahead and continue to the next activity. Okay. Guys, what I want you to do, okay, we have an example sentence and you have to choose the correct expression. So let's look at the first one. I was so excited when I got my first job in English. It was a big blank for me. Okay, so is this going to be A, B, or C? I was so excited when I got my first job in English. It was a big blank for me. Okay, we're going to say it was a big milestone for me because this was a big step in your career, something very important, a big achievement. Okay, so a big milestone. Okay, let's look at the next one. Good job, Didier. I'm glad it was easy. Okay, let's look at the next one. You should be proud of yourself. You have really blank since you started in January. You should be proud of yourself. You have really blank since you started in January. What's the correct answer? Okay, guys, this one's going to be B. Okay, you've really come a long way, right? Because in January, maybe you were still a newbie at whatever goal you were trying to achieve, right? And now you have improved a lot. You have come a long way. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. Not passing the certification exam was disappointing, but it was only a blank. Not passing the certification exam was disappointing, but it was only a blank. Is it going to be A, B, or C? Okay, this one's going to be B. Okay, not passing the certification exam was disappointing, but it was only a bump in the road. Okay, it was just a small obstacle. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. At first, going to the gym was difficult, but now I'm starting to blank. Okay. At first, going to the gym was difficult, but now I'm starting to blank. Is this going to be A, B, or C? All right, guys, be sure to share in the comments. See if we got them correct. And this one is going to be reap the rewards. Okay. So after going to the gym was at first going to the gym was difficult, but now I'm starting to reap the rewards. Okay. So it was really hard in the beginning, but you were consistent, and now you're starting to see the results in your fitness. You are reaping the rewards of your hard work. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. I was nervous about leading the presentation, but in the end, I blank. So I was nervous about leading the presentation, but in the end, I blank. All right, what's the correct answer? Hey guys, this one's gonna be B. Okay, I pulled it off. I was nervous about leading the presentation, but in the end, I pulled it off. I pulled it off. Okay, so you were really worried, maybe not so confident, but at the end, you did it and you did it successfully. You pulled it off. Okay, let's go to the next one. Being hospitalized felt like a blank, but I never gave up. Okay. Very good, Didier. Pulled it off. You got it. So, yeah, let's look at that next one. Being hospitalized felt like a blank, but I never gave up. Okay, what is the answer here? Okay, it's going to be B, setback. Okay, setback. It felt like a setback, right? So you were hospitalized, you got very sick, you weren't able to work towards your goals. So this set you back. It made it hard for you to continue in your goals. Okay, let's go ahead and continue to the next one. All right. Is the LL on pooled silent? No, it pooled. Good question, Didier. Pooled. It's just not a very strong like pulled. It's pulled. But we do pronounce the L a bit. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. Even when progress is slow, it's important to blank. Even when progress is slow, it's important to blank. All right, what's the correct answer? Okay, it's going to be B. Okay, keep going when the going gets tough. Okay, so even though it might be hard to stay motivated when your progress is slow, it's important to keep going, even though it's hard. All right, next one. At one point, I completely blank in physics, so I got a tutor. Okay? At one point, I completely blank in physics, so I got a tutor. All right, so tell me in the comments, guys, what's the correct answer? Okay, it's gonna be B, hit a wall. So at one point, I completely hit a wall in physics. So I got a tutor, right? So physics was really hard for you. You weren't understanding it. So you hit a wall. You couldn't understand it. You couldn't improve. And so you got a tutor to help you so you could understand better. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay. Between work, family, and studying English, I have blank. Okay. Between work, family, and studying English, I have blank. Okay. Is it going to be A, B, or C? Let me know in the comments. Okay. It's going to be B. Okay. Between work, family, and studying English, I have too much on my plate. Okay, I have too much on my plate. So I have work, I need to take care of my family, I'm studying English, I have too many responsibilities. This is more than I can handle. Okay, and the last one. He completed a leadership training and managed to blank at the company. He completed a leadership training and managed to blank at the company. Okay, what's going to be the answer? Okay, this one's going to be B, move up, right? So he took this leadership training, he developed his skill, okay? And now he's going to move up. He's going to get a higher job, maybe a leadership position at the company, okay? And so let me know, guys, in the comments, did you get all 10 of them correct? How many did you get correct? And now, guys, let's talk about it. Okay. Now, this is where we really put it into practice. So now you understand the words. Now we need to use them. So it's very important that you make examples there in the comments, and I'll correct any mistakes. And I'm really interested to see what you guys have achieved and what challenges you might have faced in the process. All right. So let's look at this first one. What has been a big what has been a big milestone for you in your life, studies, or career? Right? So let's try to think of an example of a milestone, something big you have achieved in your life. Okay, these can be things like graduating, buying a house, getting married, getting your dream job, moving to another country, any kind of big moment, something you achieved that was really important to you. So let me say one of the big milestones in my life was learning Spanish. Okay. When I was 18 years old, I went to Nicaragua, and unfortunately, I didn't speak any Spanish, so I couldn't communicate with the people. I absolutely loved the experience, but I hated that I could not speak to them. So when I got back to the US, I decided that it would be my goal to become fluent in Spanish. So I majored in Spanish at university, and that's another big milestone. I graduated from university with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. And later I moved to Colombia where I was able to use it regularly. And I would say today that I am fluent in Spanish, and this was a big milestone for me in my life. So, guys, let me know in the comments what was a big milestone for you. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next one. Okay. When you look back a few years, okay, maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but look back in the past, okay, and in what way do you feel you've come a long way? Okay. How have you improved a lot? So go ahead and think about that, guys, and share your examples in the comments. So, how have I come a long way? I'm going to say this is with making videos and really just being on camera. Believe it or not, guys, I've come a really long way because I used to hate seeing my pictures in photos. I absolutely hated seeing myself on camera, in videos. Even I hated even more hearing my own voice. And I've come a really long way. I would say I'm almost completely comfortable being on camera today. And this has come from doing it more, um, just facing that fear and realizing it's not that big of a deal, and just gaining the confidence. I can do it now. Oh, thank you, Didier. I love to read your example here. Learning how to play the guitar has been a big milestone for me. Oh, that's awesome. How long have you been playing the guitar? Thanks. Great example. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the next one. Continue sharing your examples in the comments, guys. Okay, so the next one is, can you describe a time you reaped the rewards of your hard work? Okay, can you describe a time you reaped the rewards of your hard work? So try to think of a time you worked really hard and you had to be consistent, keep pushing through, and finally you were able to see the results. You reaped the rewards of that hard work. So my example for this one, I have grown up playing sports, lifting weights, most of my life. Okay. And when I first moved to Colombia, I started taking very seriously my fitness, and I started going to the gym regularly. And of course, in the beginning, it was painful. My muscles hurt, but as I kept going, I started to reap the rewards. There was a part of my life where I couldn't do like a chin up or a pull up. Okay. Zero. Couldn't do any. And I was able to reap the rewards and finally do a pull up and many chin ups because of my consistency and working hard. Okay. Thank you, Didier, for your example. I started last year and I've come a long way since I started doing it. Okay, awesome. I love your connection. You started with the milestone and now you're talking about how you've come a long way. That's perfect. In 1 year, nice. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next example. What's something difficult that you have pulled off in your life or career? Right? What's something difficult that you have pulled off in your life or career? Okay, so I'm going to continue with my example here. All right, I thought it would be impossible to do a pull up. Okay, but after my hard work and consistency, I was able to pull it off. I successfully was able to do a few pull ups. Okay, so what's something you have pulled off in your life or career? Something that was difficult, but you were able to achieve it. Okay, all right, let's look at the next one. What skill have you developed that has helped you move up in your career? What skill have you developed that has helped you move up in your career? Okay. So the skill that I have developed that has helped me to move up in my career is becoming a better communicator. Okay. Now that I'm able to be more comfortable speaking in front of people like we're doing now, I've been able to move up and grow in my career so much. And I want to continue doing this because I think it'll allow me to move up more and more. Okay, so guys, remember to share these in the comments. If you make any mistakes, I will correct them for you. And I really want to learn more about your achievements. Okay, now let's go on to the next stage. Okay, some more questions. These are going to be a little more focused on some challenges that we have faced. Okay, so the first one, what was a bump in the road for you when trying to achieve a goal? Okay, what was a bump in the road for you when trying to achieve a goal? Okay, so in the past, I used to run a lot. I would probably run a 5K about 3 times a week. Okay, but one day I challenged myself to do a 10K. So I was out in the park, I was running, but I faced a bump in the road. Okay. Literally, there was a tree and the root was big. And when I was running, I didn't see it. And my foot like went over the root, and I fell over and I busted up my knee really bad and it started bleeding everywhere. And at that point, I think I had reached like 6 or 7 kilometers. So I still needed to run like 3 or 4 more. But due to the injury, I had to try again another day. And I don't know if I ever actually ran a 10K. I don't think I ever tried it again. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one. Have you experienced a setback that actually helped you learn or grow? Okay, so try to think of what is a setback that you faced and it helped you learn or grow. So when I was in high school, I was 14 years old and I played soccer. Okay. And at that point in my life, I wanted to become a college athlete, probably for softball. And while I was playing soccer, I broke my ankle. And this was a huge setback because it meant I couldn't play sports for almost a year. And then when I could play again, my body was not in the same condition. I needed to train to get it back to where it used to be. So it really was a huge setback. And basically, what it helped me realize is that maybe I didn't really want to play college sports that bad. I decided to take another path and didn't pursue that goal. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at number 3. When things get difficult, what helps you keep going when the going gets tough? Okay, so when things get difficult, what helps you keep going when the going gets tough? Right? So go ahead and let me know in the comments your examples and really try to use the expression. So for me, what keeps me going when the going gets tough is a strong mindset, knowing that nothing we achieve that really matters comes easily, and we have to be persistent and keep going. So I like to try maybe doing some journaling to strengthen my mindset, maybe just talk through my insecurities with someone. And this will usually help me kind of like throw those out in the trash so I can refocus and keep going towards my goals. All right, let's look at number 4. Have you ever hit a wall while learning something? And how did you overcome it? Okay, so have you ever hit a wall while learning something? And how did you overcome it? So go ahead and tell me in the comments, guys, a time you hit a wall. Okay. When I was in school, the subject that probably gave me the most difficulty was science. I think mainly because I thought it was quite boring. So it was hard for me to focus. So I remember being at university and I was taking a biology class and I was having to memorize a lot of the systems, but I was hitting a wall because I was falling asleep when I was studying the material. And so to help me overcome that problem, I don't think it's super healthy, but I would buy like candy that I could suck on while I was studying that would keep me awake so that I could like keep reading the material and learn it. And it helped. It really did. It helped me break through that wall. All right. And the last one, guys. Right now, do you feel like you have too much on your plate and how do you manage it? So, right now, do you feel like you have too much on your plate and how do you manage it? Okay, go ahead and let me know that in the comments. Do you have too much on your plate? Um, if I answer this honestly, I think yes. There are certainly moments in my life that I feel like I have too much on my plate. I'm juggling a lot of responsibilities in my life. Uh, but how do I manage it? I'm just reminding myself that right now this is temporary, but I will reap the rewards of my hard work. And I think in the future, I'll be able to have more assistance so that I don't have so much just on my plate. I can share that on other people's plates. So what about you? Do you think you have too much on your plate? Let me know in the comments. And guys, that's going to end all the conversation questions with these 10 expressions. Even if you didn't share them in the comments, I really recommend trying to make some examples and use all of these vocabulary words. This is how we take new information and put it into our long-term memory, is by like connecting it to things that really matter to us. Okay. And guys, before we finish, um, if you have any questions, please ask there in the comments. I'll be happy to answer that for you. So do we have any questions? Okay, well, I'll be looking out if there's any questions, but I'll go ahead and finish up here, guys. So remember, this is part of the B1 to B2 English series. So I want you to follow along because I'm helping you reach that B2 level. Okay. And if you want to see that path, you can download the free study guide. I just shared it here in the chat. Okay. And that'll be a guide for you. And to accompany this lesson today, where you can learn more vocabulary about achievements and challenges, I recommend that you listen to my podcast episode, B2 English Listening, Crush These Four Obstacles, where I share the four most common obstacles that people face when trying to achieve their goals and some tips to help you overcome them. Okay. And guys, if you want to go even deeper into this course, you can join the Fluency community for just $5 a month. And as you see there, there will be different lessons. And this will include some quizzes for you to practice reading, listening, vocabulary, grammar. And I even have an AI chatbot where you can practice writing and speaking on these topics. And if you would like To actually practice your speaking with someone, I do offer a conversation club, which is group classes, and I also have one-on-one coaching so that you can practice your English speaking every week. So if you're interested in joining my classes, you can book a free consultation at peachteachenglish.com, and I'd love to see how we can get started. And guys, next Tuesday, I'll be going live again. Okay. Basically, every Tuesday, I'll be going live at 7:30. And our next topic is the past perfect versus the past perfect continuous. So I look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And see you next time. Bye.